Now, what deterred you from being like another crunk artist, like a reemergence of crunk?
Growing up with my dad, like that's all you hear.
Yeah.
Being surrounded by that, being in the shadow, it's like honestly, like it'd be a lot of those things that just make you like find your own path. It's like when people are constantly like, "Hey, be like your dad, talk like your dad,
Word.
you know, jump like your dad." It's like, all right, bro, like. I like this stuff too, though.
Yeah.
It's like my dad like this stuff. This just what he makes. Bro, like I'm listening to this. I'm like, I want to make this. I like jazz music. I might make me some jazz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just
That's real.
Long time before you get to this point. I've been doing beats since '92, and I'm just getting some notoriety for it, really. You know what I'm saying? Nationally. So, you know, all y'all producers out there and rappers or whatever, you know, it ain't gonna happen tomorrow. It ain't gonna happen in 2 years. It ain't gonna happen in 3 years. It ain't gonna happen in 5 years. It might take 10. It might happen in 3. It might happen in 5, but it might not. It might take 20 years, 15 years. But if you be patient and work hard, you know what I'm saying, you'll get there. The most important thing is your work ethics in this industry. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work extra hard, because if this was a regular job, most of y'all be done quit by now.
I even got a tattoo of his signature. It was like something
That's
ironic for me because it's
hard.
like, you know, it's just my dad, but had to get the signature. It was like,
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's interesting. I was just talking to this my best friend Will, my manager.
What up, Will?
And I was talking about the anger management tour. It was like 2004. I was like, what, like 5, 6, something like that. And he brought me on stage, and I was just like, bro, I was so shy, bro. I was a little kid, whatever. But it's just crazy to have experiences like that and then go home and we just like drinking tea, playing video games.
I can't believe my son is dead. Just a few days ago, I thought he was just in a bad mood and had gone out for a walk and that he would be back soon. But I never imagined that that would be our last goodbye. In the weeks before his death, he withdrew, even shaving his hair and eyebrows. At the time, I thought it was just a new style and even joked about it. Only now do I understand it wasn't a style at all, but a cry for help, one I naively mistook for rebellion. I once believed that as a father, the resources and reputation I gave him were all the love I could offer. I thought I was giving him an easier path, but I now understand it was never what he wanted. Yet he was still that kind, heartbreakingly sweet child. I remember when we were working on music together, he asked if I could sit quietly with him for a while. I should have turned off the music and stayed with him, but I was always busy, always rushing to the next event when he desperately ran away. He didn't even wear shoes when he ran out of the house, and he was finally found in that pond just a few.
Is there anything that you say that you get so annoyed with that fans scream to you?
What?
Yeah.
What is the most annoying shit ever? Because they sound terrible. They be like, what? Wheat? Wheat? Motherfucker, wheat? What is wheat? Yeah, they just scream it at improper times.
Improper time.
Yeah, it
What's
might
the
be.
most improper time?
I mean, I've been going through security and TSA is like, yeah! I'm like,
Do you think people truly understand the loneliness that can come with success and entertainment?
No, because they just see the private jets and the trips and all that. They don't realize, you know, sometimes you can't go nowhere because people bugging you. You can't spend time with your loved ones without people bugging you,
Right.
or I gotta make another hit record. Or you know what I mean? Like, or even when you start to go down, you're not as hot as you were, people not picking up the phone and all that. Yeah, it's a lot of most people couldn't deal with this life. They could not deal with it because it's too much pressure. Then people on the internet with all their opinions and all of this and that, and it's a lot of pressure that you cannot be built weak to be in entertainment. So, yes.
I probably started about 15 years ago getting more health conscious, and then I really got on another level when I got the call to do Super Bowl with Usher. I was like, I want to look good on the stage, so I got a trainer. A good friend of mine turned into a bodybuilder, and so I was like, yo, I need you to train me to get me ready for Super Bowl. And I looked pretty good at Super Bowl, and then I was like, I want to keep going. So like I'm on some super healthy stuff. I get my blood work done and all of that to see what's going on. Everybody out there, you should get your blood work drawn. If you're over 40, like if you like 30 something, 35 ish and up, if you haven't had a physical and had your blood work done, you should go get it done because it can show you markers and things that are going on in your body that you would not know because you look and feel fine.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
What about those guilty pleasures that was the hardest for you to kick? Because I have my own. I mean, last night I was
fried food is the hardest thing. I'm from the South. I love fried chicken. I love fried fish. I'll get it every now and then, but you know, like oil, the seed oils is the worst thing. That's cancer. Seed oils and any foods with preservatives.
Okay.
All of that is the worst.
Breaking news. And honestly, this one is chilling. Because imagine waking up one morning and finding out that the son of one of hip-hop's most recognizable voices has simply vanished. No warning, no phone call, no explanation. Lil Jon's son is missing. And what's making people feel even more unsettled right now is that footage has started spreading online. Footage some are calling a disturbing message. But before the internet turns this into another conspiracy storm, you need to understand what actually happened and why this disappearance hit so hard. Because this isn't just celebrity news. This is every parent's worst nightmare. On the morning of February 3rd, 2026, around 6 a.m., a 27-year-old man walked out of his home in Milton, Georgia. Milton is quiet, affluent, the kind of suburb where nothing like this is supposed to happen. But that morning, Nathan Murray Smith didn't grab his keys. He didn't take his wallet, he didn't bring shoes, and most terrifying of all, he left without his phone. Authorities later described him as possibly disoriented, meaning he may not have fully understood what he was doing. He didn't leave a note. He didn't tell anyone. He just stepped into the cold, early morning darkness and disappeared. Within hours, Milton police issued a missing person alert, and this wasn't treated like a normal adult disappearance because Nathan had no ID, no communication, no way to call for help. Police urged anyone who spotted him not to confront him, but to contact authorities immediately. It was a welfare situation, a life or death urgency. And once the news hit local outlets, it didn't stay local for long. Fox 5 Atlanta was one of the first to report it. Then WSB TV, then NBC News picked it up nationally. People magazine published the family's request for prayers and privacy. TMZ amplified it even further. And suddenly, Lil Jon, the man known worldwide for screaming "yeah" and turning clubs into chaos, was facing something no amount of fame can protect you from: a missing child. And that's when social media did what it always does. The story exploded. YouTube channels rushed to cover it. Comment sections filled with theories. And on Boss Talk TV, the host broke the news with visible shock. Breaking news, man! Lil Jon's son is missing. Even they sounded like they couldn't believe what they were reading, because the details didn't feel real. Barefoot, no phone, gone. But then the internet started asking the next question. Who is Nathan Murray Smith? Because most people only knew him as Lil Jon's son. But that wasn't his whole identity. Not even close. Nathan went by the stage name DJ Young Slade, and his life was deeply tied to music long before the headlines. Lil Jon once joked that Nathan was kicking in the womb during studio sessions. Music was literally in his blood. As a toddler, Nathan even contributed vocals to Lil Jon's early work. And as he got older, he didn't just ride his father's legacy, he built his own. He trained at the Scratch DJ Academy. He attended NYU. He worked as a producer, engineer, DJ, and artist. Quietly, steadily, putting in real work. In the last 2 years, his career had real momentum. He collaborated with Lil Jon on Total Meditation in 2024. He performed at festivals like One Music Fest in Atlanta. He released music under his own name. His Instagram was full of promotion, family moments, and positivity. By all accounts, he was building something, which is exactly why this disappearance feels so hard to understand, because nothing about his public life suggested chaos, until suddenly, he was gone. And then something eerie happened. A clip resurfaced. An interview segment where Nathan spoke about his father. Not Lil Jon the superstar, but Lil Jon the dad. The guy who drinks tea, watches movies at home. A normal father. A normal son. And now that same footage is being replayed besides missing person posters. People called it haunting. Not because Nathan said anything strange, but because the timing feels unreal. like the calm before a storm. And that's where the internet took a turn, because one word started showing up everywhere. Opps, rivals, enemies. People began digging into Lil Jon's past like they were searching for a villain. And to be clear, police have given zero indication that this is criminal. No suspects, no foul play confirmed. This is being treated as a welfare concern. But the culture of hip-hop has conditioned people to always look for an enemy. Lil Jon's career goes back decades. Atlanta's crunk era, kings of the club sound. Get low. Turned down for what? He became a cultural force. And in any competitive music scene, friction comes with success. The most documented beef in his career involved Pastor Troy. They collaborated in the early 2000s, but resentment grew. Pastor Troy later released diss tracks, spoke about feeling excluded, but Lil Jon never really responded. He stayed above it. Other tensions existed too. Creative disputes, business fallouts, industry politics, nothing that ever pointed toward violence, nothing involving Nathan. But the internet doesn't care about nuance, they care about drama. And the reason people spiral like this is because hip-hop has a darker history. One where family gets pulled into conflict, even when they don't deserve it. We've seen it happen. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B dragging each other's children online. Drake and Kendrick turning family into ammunition. Pusha T exposing Adonis to the world. Eminem going nuclear when anyone mentioned his daughter. The pattern is real. And it's ugly. Kids become collateral damage in adult wars. So when a rapper's child goes missing, the internet reflex is immediate. Someone must be behind it. Someone must be responsible. But right now, there is no evidence of that. Just fear, just silence, just a family begging for privacy. Lil Jon hasn't spoken publicly beyond requests for prayers. Searches have reportedly continued around the Milton area, Mayfield Lake, nearby parks, wooded trails stretching into the cold Georgia morning, quiet neighborhoods where nothing ever feels out of place. Until suddenly, everything does. Because when someone disappears without warning, even the most peaceful streets start to feel unsettling. And with every hour that passes, the unanswered questions grow heavier. Not just for the police, not just for the community, but for a family sitting in the unbearable space between hope and fear. Because the scariest part of this story is painfully simple. Nathan walked out of his home, and he hasn't been seen since. No phone, no shoes, no wallet, no identification, no way to call for help, no way for anyone to reach him. Just gone. And that kind of disappearance doesn't just create fear, it creates a silence that feels unbearable. The kind of silence where time slows down, where every minute feels louder than the last, where the mind starts replaying the same moment over and over, searching for something that explains it. Because every small detail becomes a haunting question. Did he know where he was going? Was he confused? Was he scared? Did he think he'd be back in minutes? Or did something happen out there, in the dark, before anyone even realized he was missing? That's what makes this so chilling. There was no goodbye, no warning sign, no final message, just a door opening, and a life slipping into uncertainty. And now, somewhere out there, answers exist. But the world doesn't have them yet. All that remains is the search, the waiting, and the growing weight of not knowing what happened after he took those first steps into the morning darkness. Because when someone vanishes like this, the mind starts filling in blanks it was never meant to fill. And the internet does what it always does. It searches for villains. It searches for rivals. It searches for some hidden storyline that makes it feel less random, less cruel. But maybe that's the real takeaway here. Not beefs, not ops, not conspiracy theories that turn real pain into content. Just the brutal reality that behind every headline is a father who can't find his son, a family living in terror, waking up every day hoping for a phone call that hasn't come, and a world watching from a distance, refreshing for updates, forgetting that this isn't entertainment. It's someone's life. Right now, the story isn't finished. And until there are answers, until Nathan Murray Smith is found, the question hangs in the air heavier than ever. What really happened to DJ Young Slade? And will this nightmare finally have an ending? or only more silence. For now, all anyone can do is hope, pray, and wait for the kind of update that brings relief instead of more heartbreak. Because behind the headlines, behind the trending posts, behind the internet speculation, this is still a real family living through every parent's worst fear. If you or anyone you know has information that could help, authorities are urging people to contact the Milton Police Department immediately. And as this story continues to develop, we'll be following every confirmed update closely. So if you want to stay informed on stories like this, the ones that go deeper than just gossip and remind us what's really happening behind the fame, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and let's all keep Nathan and his family in our thoughts.